Good afternoon and welcome back to the Facebook Live coverage of the LMA 2018 conference from New Orleans. The conference is wrapping up. The exhibit hall is starting to wrap up. It's the saddest time of the year for me because we're all going to be going home. I have the lucky privilege to be here with two of my favorite LMA folks who I don't get to see that often. I'm here with Cynthia Voth, the 2018 president-elect and the 2019 president of the LMA.
It's a lot.
It's a lot. Okay, so we're going to talk to her in a second. And my esteemed co-host, Ron Burgundy, a.k.a. Andy Laver, who is actually going to be the 2019 conference co-chair, which is amazing. So we're going to talk to both of them. I'm going to start with Cynthia. And actually, before I start, they're holding peaches because, for those who don't know, LMA 19 is going to be in Atlanta, Georgia on April 8th through the 10th. So mark your calendars. It's going to be great. It's been a while since it's been in Atlanta. So I'm excited to go there, and I hope you will all join us. I hope the Facebook coverage of the conference is making the folks at home be excited about joining us.
Yeah.
So Cynthia, let's start with you. Great. So tell us about your conference experience this year.
Conference experience this year has been great. This is my favorite time of the year, honestly. I've looked forward to it since the last conference. I have a countdown clock on my computer. Counting down the days, hours, and minutes or whatever to the conference. The community here, the learning that happens, the people are just remarkable. It fills my cup and lets me spend the next year bringing great ideas to my firm. So I love it. This year's conference has been really exciting. It's been interesting to be a new member of the board. It's been busy, and I'm looking forward to some good sleep tonight. But it's been great. And again, it's such a welcoming group. And the information exchange here is just unsurpassed, frankly, for our industry. In legal marketing, yeah. That's
terrific. So you are going to be president next year. So tell us about what your plans are for your presidency.
There's so much great work that's happened over the years. Our association has evolved over 33 years from some remarkable individuals who started us and brought us forward. Our industry continues to change and evolve. The breadth of work that we do as legal marketers is pretty extensive. So building on the great education, I'm particularly excited about our advocacy committee, working with the bar on ethics rules and promoting best practices for the legal marketing profession. We have a new diversity and inclusion committee and SIG. I am board liaison to them. I am very excited about the brainstorming that actually we've done over the last few weeks. We had a meeting on Monday, a dinner on Monday night, and the work that group is already planning to do is really going to help not only enrich LMA, but help change our profession, the industry in general, and just continue to serve our members well, to communicate well with our members, to make sure that we're meeting needs and we're continuing to evolve. My title is Director of Client Engagement and Innovation. My breadth of scope is so wide, and I think there's more and more of us who are being invited to the table on the business side of the practice and the revenue generating side. And so continuing to kind of meet those needs for a market that has a lot of pressures on it and a lot of disruption, frankly, from technology and demand decrease. So, yeah.
That's terrific. So you've been a long-time LMA member and volunteer, so I would love to know why you LMA.
So I've been a member for 8 years, which in LMA circles is kind of not that long, but it is long enough to know that this association is remarkable. I LMA because at the very first meeting I attended, I left with so much information and a camaraderie with people who work in this profession that I found nowhere else. I can go home and tell my husband, who works for lawyers as an expert witness, but not in the capacity that I do. I can tell him what I do. I can tell my friends what I do, and they just don't really understand the pressures we face and the sort of dynamics at play in our work. And having a community to support and help inspire you or support you when you're having challenges is just invaluable. So I was hooked from day one, and I love to give back when I receive. And so I LMA and have stepped up my involvement over the years as chapter president and nominating committee a couple times, and conference committee, and then conference chair last year, because I really do want to give back to this community I'm incredibly grateful for. So.
that's a pretty good reason to get involved. There are so many ways to get involved in the LMA. So you can get involved in the regional level. You can get involved in your local groups. You can get involved in the SIGs. You can get involved in writing for one of the many newsletters we have. You can get involved in social media. You can get involved in something like we're doing here with Facebook Live. The opportunities to be part of the LMA are just limitless. So if you want to get involved, contact someone who you know within your region and raise your hand to get involved, because you can be president someday, and it doesn't take that long to do it. And you can be conference co-chair. So Andy's 23 years old. So just so you know, no, I'm kidding. But you don't have to spend your entire career waiting for a great moment. Andy's relatively kind of on the young side. It's inspirational to me. Andy's an inspiration to me in general. No, and I'm in awe of you too. I think it's terrific. It's very hard to find time in your day to make the time to volunteer with everything we have with our families and our professional lives. So I give kudos to you guys for doing this. So thank you for everything you're doing for LMA. Absolutely. And you too. One of the things that's really terrific is that Andy is going to be co-chair next year, and I'm excited as a young person to see what changes that means for the conference. Maybe it's going to be a different kind of format for the programming or different kind of format for networking. Who knows? And so, Andy, tell us a little bit about what you're planning. I know it's on the early side, but What are you thinking, and why did you want to be conference co-chair?
It is on the early side. The 2019 Advisory Committee, we met for the first time as a group yesterday, since we were all here, or most of us were all here in New Orleans, just to get to know each other and start to talk about things. And Cynthia, having co-chaired in Vegas and having been on the conference planning committee for Austin, is familiar with the process. And when I helped plan Vegas, I was very familiar with the process too. And it was, hey, you're new to this process. Here's what's going to happen. Here's what we look to do. Here's what we like to do. But here's what you can do for the next day and a half while you're still here in New Orleans. Start thinking about, what do you like? What do you not like? What would you like to change? Ask people what they think, because not everyone fills out the surveys. And as an attendee here at the conference, this survey is what we use the most, really, to start planning for future years and for the next year. So when you get your attendee survey in the next day or so, once you're back in the office, please fill it out. Please be frank. Please let us know everything, whether it was this person did not give us what they thought they were going to say, or this session was perfect, I'd love to hear from this person again. Really, it runs the gamut. Be as frank as you want to be. It's anonymous. And we take that to heart as a planning and advisory committee, because we want to know what the attendees, the paid attendees, and our association members want to hear about, what they want to learn about, and who they want to hear it from. So ideas like we've had in the past of TED-type talks, the Pecha Kucha, all those types of things, they came out of these early on planning meetings and the survey and feedback we've received from the members. And, of course, having Holly Amantangelo as our educational director. So, it is very early for 19. Obviously, we haven't even put 18 to bed yet. Right. But in the coming weeks, there will be a call for speakers that goes out for 2019. Yeah. And then once that comes in, our great team with Christy Perkins at ACI, they compile all the information for us as a committee, and then we start going through all the information, and we start ranking in our personal opinions what we would like to hear and what we think the previous attendees want to hear, and we literally grade them. And then they're ranked, and we'll come together this summer in Seattle at Cynthia's office and sit down together as a committee. And we will start to have frank conversations about the topics, about the speakers, and everything in between, so that we can put the best conference together when that brochure comes out at the end of this year, before planning for attending. It's
really quick. I mean, one thing you guys need to realize is this is a member organization, right? So if you want your voices to be heard and what you want, you need to speak about that. So, and that's why we have these surveys. And not only the surveys, so you have the survey in your app, you also have the survey that you're going to receive by email, but it's never too late to give feedback. So you've got folks who are on the regional level, the local level, and the international level who always want to seek your feedback and always want to know what you think. And it's never too early or too late to give those feedback, those ideas. Again, this is a member organization. We want to make sure you get the most out of it. So anything else you want to say to folks who want to give feedback or ideas for the conference, or just in general for the organization?
Yeah, I mean, I have a few things on next year's conference. I mean, our goal every year is to continue to up the content, to really be forward thinking in terms of the education that we give our members. There is a rate of change going on in legal that the industry hadn't seen for decades and decades, and so we really want to be able to support people with some of the challenges that we're facing and the opportunities as well. So we really do vet. We read every single line of those surveys. I can't impress upon everyone enough how important that is and how much impact it does have. I also want to say two things. One, I had the honor of being able to ask Andy and Aaron to be our conference co-chairs. Having worked with Andy last year, the level of care, attention, passion, homework, ideas that he brought to the table was bar none. This conference is in great hands with him, and Erin too. I know had to go, so she's not in this video, but I am excited for that. I was very purposeful in how we put the committee together so that a lot of different constituents of the organization can be represented. I'm sure there's ways to improve upon that, but I'm really excited for our committee. And one of my most I don't know if I want to say proud, because I'm not really a pride person, but one of the things I'm most excited about is we reached out to Clock and Connie Brenton and asked if they might be willing to have a member serve on our committee, and the answer was yes. So I'm very thrilled to have Voice of Client sitting on our committee next year. Christy Jadid from Milan. I hope I said the company name right. I think I did. Okay, sorry, I'm West Coast.
How do you say it?
I think it's Milan.
Okay. Has so many great ideas to bring to the table. I think she's going to be an excellent voice as we really think strategically about what the right, not even topics, but sort of the aspects and the bent that we put on certain presentations. I think it's going to really have impact. I want this event to be one where it is compelling for folks to attend every year. I know you get good value out of attending this conference. One conversation in a hallway or a presentation that inspires you, that can take a project that's off the rails and put it on, pays for the whole experience, the travel and the registration alone, and being able to continue to up our game so people leave and they're basically getting 10 times the value of what the cost of attendance was or whatever. I just pulled that number out of the air. Yeah. But I feel like there is that much value, being able to get more out of your service partners that we work with, that you already work with or you're thinking of working with. There's just so many opportunities. So I am very excited for what we're hopefully going to bring. We will bring for Atlanta. So be sure to save the date and look for the materials. There's going to be a lot of exciting information coming.
You know, one more thing besides filling out the survey as an attendee, when that call for speakers comes out, if you want to speak, if you know someone you think would be good at speaking, or if you have an idea of someone who can speak, especially outside the legal industry, please forward it on to them. We want to get as many submissions as we can. We want to make sure that we're dealing from a really deep pool to choose from. Make it hard on us. Right. Let us do the heavy lifting. Let us, have those frank conversations and determine what is the best value for our members.
And, one other thing you should think about also is that, there's the main conference, but there's a terrific pre-conference program that is the day prior to the conference, and it is very specialized. There's a CMO summit, there's a small and mid-sized firm focus, there's a PR focus, there's a quick start, and other programs, the marketing, legal technologists. Yeah. So a lot of people get a lot out of those, too, if you're looking for another day of programming that's very specialized, and it's a great way to make friends and also to meet service providers. Again, like I talk about, the nucleus of the conference is the exhibit hall. I encourage you also just make sure that you're maximizing your time at the conference and spending time meeting as many people as you can. So the conference is not just sitting in the sessions. The conference is every single interaction you're having with every person with whom you're just having a conversation, every social event. So we're really excited for next year. We're excited for everything that we know you're going to do. That's going to be great. We're excited for this conference. I'm an LMA cheerleader, and I'm really excited for everything that this organization is going to do for us as members and everything that we learned from it. So I'm going to sign off here with Cynthia and with Andy, and we thank you guys for joining us. We have maybe one more segment or so until we bid you goodbye until next year. But we thank you, and again, April 8th through the 10th in Atlanta. Thank you, guys.